In every corner of the world, stray dogs are a common sight. But in Greece, there was one that stood out in the most mysterious way. This wasn't just any stray dog. He had a secret, and for days, he sat by the same storm drain, staring down into it with an unwavering focus. What could he possibly be looking at? Strangely, no one dared to get too close. Whenever someone approached, the dog would growl fiercely, guarding his spot with a protective intensity that left everyone wondering what was so important. But what if this dog's daily ritual wasn't just strange? What if it was the key to a shocking discovery? Stick with us, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, because what we're about to reveal will warm your heart and leave you in awe of this stray dog's incredible act of kindness. You won't believe what he was really guarding. Every day, passers-by would see a stray dog sitting and staring intently at a storm drain. Its fur was matted with dirt, and its thin, malnourished body reflected a life spent struggling on the streets. However, what caught everyone's attention was the dog's unusual behavior. There was something special about this dog that set it apart from the other strays. It didn't wander aimlessly or beg for food like the others in the area. Instead, it spent hours sitting by the drain, its eyes fixed on the dark hole below, growling at anyone who dared approach. Its protectiveness was so intense that it made people wonder, what was it guarding? What could be so important about that spot? Despite his rough exterior, there was an undeniable sadness in his eyes. He seemed to carry a weight, as if burdened by something no one else could understand. The way he spent day after day in front of that drain intrigued many, but no one dared to get too close. Until one day, a young woman named Sophia noticed him. She had seen the stray dog on several occasions, sitting silently by the drain, and something about his quiet persistence struck her. It wasn't just that he was alone. There was a sense of purpose in his actions. Sophia was a kind-hearted soul, always looking for ways to help, and seeing this dog's lonely vigil made her heart ache. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this animal's story than met the eye. Her curiosity grew with each passing day, as she watched him sit faithfully by the drain, growling at anyone who came near but never moving away. His eyes followed every movement, sharp and watchful, as though he was waiting for something or someone. Determined to help, Sophia decided to offer the dog some food. She went to the local butcher and asked for any leftover scraps, hoping to make a small difference in the dog's difficult life. When she returned and approached him, the dog eyed her warily. His growl was softer this time, almost hesitant, but it was clear he wasn't used to human kindness. Sophia held out the food carefully, moving slowly to avoid scaring him. After a few moments, the dog took the food from her hand, but instead of gobbling it up right away, he did something that puzzled her. He walked toward the storm drain, dropped a portion of the food into it, and then returned to eat the rest. Day after day, this ritual continued. Each time Sophia offered him food, he would always share part of it with the drain before finishing the rest himself. This behavior intrigued Sophia even more. She couldn't help but wonder, why was the dog so focused on that drain? What was he doing with the food? It didn't take long for her to realize that the dog was not just sitting by the drain out of habit. Something, or someone, was inside that drain, and the dog's protective nature was all too evident. He wasn't just guarding the spot, he was guarding something in it. But what? Her curiosity led her to take action. One afternoon, Sophia decided to investigate for herself. She cautiously approached the drain, watching the dog as he sat, growling softly, just a few feet away. His gaze never left the spot. With a deep breath, Sophia knelt down and peered into the drain. Her heart stopped. Inside, she could barely make out the shape of small, helpless creatures huddled together in the darkness. It took a moment for her to realize what she was seeing. 5 tiny kittens, trapped and struggling to survive in the confined space of the storm drain. They were hungry, cold, and vulnerable. Sophia's heart raced. She understood now. The dog hadn't been guarding the drain for himself. He had been protecting these helpless kittens all along. Every day, he had been sharing his meager food with them, doing everything in his power to keep them alive. His loyalty and selflessness were beyond anything Sophia had ever seen. Without wasting a moment, Sophia knew what she had to do. She immediately called the fire department and explained the situation. Within minutes, the firefighters arrived and, with Sophia's help, they worked to carefully open the drain. The dog, still on edge and protective, growled at the firefighters, warning them to stay away. It was clear he wasn't going to let anyone near the kittens without a fight. But Sophia, understanding his intentions, approached the dog gently, offering him more food as a peace offering. Slowly, the dog calmed down and allowed the firefighters to proceed. With Sophia by his side, the firefighters opened the drain, revealing the tiny kittens who had been living in the dark, trapped for who knows how long. One by one, they carefully pulled the kittens out, and the stray dog watched with wide eyes. His tail began to wag furiously as the last kitten was rescued, and it was impossible to miss the joy in his eyes. It was as if he knew his mission had been accomplished. The firefighters speculated that the kittens had likely been washed into the drain during a heavy rainstorm weeks earlier, leaving them stranded without food or shelter. The fact that they had survived at all was nothing short of a miracle. But it became clear to Sophia that without the dog's daily sacrifice of food, the kittens would never have made it. Touched by the dog's incredible act of kindness, Sophia made a decision. She couldn't leave the dog behind after all he had done. She took the dog home, where he could finally have a safe, loving place to stay. As for the kittens, Sophia carefully tended to them, helping them recover from their ordeal, and eventually found loving homes for all of them. This stray dog, abandoned and struggling to survive himself, had shown an extraordinary act of compassion in the face of adversity. His actions reminded everyone of the deep, unconditional kindness that animals are capable of, even when they themselves are suffering. The bond between the dog and the kittens was undeniable, and it was a testament to the selflessness that exists in the animal kingdom. In a world where kindness is often hard to come by, this dog story is a powerful reminder that even the smallest acts of compassion can have a lasting impact. The stray dog had no home, no owner, yet he gave everything he had to save 5 helpless kittens. And in the end, it was Sophia's own act of kindness that gave him the home he deserved. This incredible story of love, protection, and kindness reminds us to always appreciate the animals around us and to never underestimate their capacity for compassion. Deeply moved by the dog's unwavering loyalty and selflessness, Sophia knew she couldn't let him continue to live alone on the streets. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that this dog, who had endured so much hardship, deserved a better life. He had given everything he had to save the kittens, despite his own struggles. It was time for him to experience love and comfort in return. Without hesitation, Sophia decided to adopt him. She knew that the dog needed more than just a roof over his head. He needed a family, a safe haven where he could feel loved and cared for. She walked over to the stray dog, kneeling beside him, and gently extended her hand. He looked at her with cautious eyes, but there was a sense of trust in his gaze. After all he had been through, Sophia knew it would take time to gain his full trust, but she was determined to show him that he would never have to suffer again. Sophia took the dog home, giving him a warm bed, plenty of food, and a space to call his own. The transformation was immediate. The dog, once timid and wary, began to open up, slowly realizing that he was finally in a safe place where no one would harm him. As time passed, Sophia grew more and more attached to him, and it didn't take long before she gave him a name, Benny. The name felt right, as it symbolized the start of a new chapter for him, a life filled with kindness, love, and care. As for the kittens, Sophia knew she couldn't keep them all, but she made sure they found homes with loving families who would give them the life they deserved. Benny's protective instincts had saved them, and now Sophia was determined to do the same for him and the kittens, ensuring they all had a future full of love and safety. The bond that formed between Sophia, Benny, and the kittens was truly remarkable. Sophia wasn't just rescuing a dog and some kittens. She was witnessing firsthand the incredible capacity for kindness and bravery that animals possess, even when they themselves are in need. Benny's act of selflessness, despite his own challenges, left everyone in awe and served as a reminder that true compassion doesn't depend on the circumstances. It can come from the most unexpected places. Sophia often reflects on how one small act of kindness, Benny's decision to protect those helpless kittens, changed their lives forever. And as she looks at Benny now, lying comfortably by her side, she feels incredibly grateful to have him as part of her family. Their story is a testament to the power of compassion and the beautiful bond that can form between humans and animals when kindness is shared. This heartwarming tale of courage and selflessness will stay with anyone who hears it, reminding us all of the difference a little love can make in the world. This story highlights the deep emotional bonds animals can form and the amazing capacity they have to care for others, even when they have little to give. It's a reminder that we should never underestimate the power of kindness, whether it's from a human or an animal. We hope this story touched your heart as much as it touched ours. If you believe in the power of compassion and love for all creatures, be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories and inspiring moments. Thank you for watching, and remember, a little kindness can go a long way.